Today, we're digging into TetraFund, a project that's making a pretty bold claim that they've figured out how to build a digital economy that's actually designed to last. So let's see if they can really pull it off.
You know, this is the one question that probably keeps a lot of crypto investors up at night. I mean, we've all seen it, right? Projects that just shoot for the moon only to come crashing back down just as fast. Well, the folks behind TetraFund are arguing that this whole boom and bust cycle, it's not inevitable. They think it's a design flaw, and they say they've built a new kind of architecture to prove it.
And this slide right here, it just lays out the two completely different visions for crypto's future. Over on the left, you've got the chaos we're all familiar with. Projects with really fragile liquidity, that constant fear of a rug pull, and a market driven by short-term hype. But on the right, TetraFund is proposing something totally different. A path built on liquidity that grows itself, real investor security, and a genuine long-term vision. It's a massive challenge to how things are usually done.
Okay, so to really get what makes TetraFund tick, we're going to take a little journey. First, we'll break down the big trust issues in crypto that they're trying to fix. Then, we'll get into their unique financial architecture and the three main ways you can earn inside this ecosystem. After that, we'll look at the security features they've built in to protect everybody. And finally, we'll take a peek at their roadmap to see what's coming next.
All right, so you can't build the real solution until you truly understand the problem. And let's be honest, in the crypto world, the problems can feel just as big as the potential rewards. So let's dive into the key issues that TetraFund was literally designed to solve from day one.
When you boil it all down, TetraFund is taking aim at two massive challenges that just keep plaguing the crypto space. First, there's the problem of unsustainable liquidity. That's what causes those insane price swings that can just wipe people out overnight. And second, you've got the constant threat of rug pulls and hacks, which have just shattered trust for so many. You know, these aren't just technical issues, they're emotional ones. And these are the dragons TetraFund is setting out to slay.
So the big question is, how is TetraFund planning to tackle these huge problems? Well, their answer isn't just to launch another token into a market that's already packed. Nope, they went all the way back to the drawing board to engineer a totally new kind of economic system. Let's pop the hood and see how it works. So what is TetraFund exactly? Well, think of it as this big interconnected ecosystem built on the Binance Smart Chain. It cleverly weaves together three of the hottest trends in crypto: DeFi, for all your decentralized finance needs; GameFi, where you can actually earn by playing games; and SocialFi, which rewards you for just being active in the community. The goal here is to create a real economy that's based on what people do, not just on speculation.
And the whole project is built on this really simple but powerful idea they call the triangular architecture. The thinking here is that a healthy crypto project is kind of like a three-legged stool. You need a vibrant, engaged community, you need an ecosystem that actually gives people a reason to participate, and you absolutely need rock-solid security to protect it all. If any one of those legs gets wobbly, the whole thing can just fall apart.
Okay, let's talk about the tokens, the tokenomics. There's a total of 600 million Tetra tokens. And as you can see, a huge 50% chunk is set aside just for staking rewards, which is a massive signal that they want people to hold for the long term. About a third is for the circulating supply, and nearly 17% is for airdrops and other cool incentives. But if you look really closely at that slice for team allocation, well, that's where this gets really interesting.
That's right, 0%. Not a single token is set aside for the developers or the founding team. Now that is a huge statement. It's designed to build trust from the ground up by making sure the team is focused on the long-term health of the project, not just on a quick payday.
So if the team isn't getting any tokens, you might be asking, where does the value even come from? And the answer is simple. It comes from participation. So let's check out the three specific ways that you, as a user, can actually get involved and earn within the TetraFund ecosystem.
The ecosystem is basically split into three connected parts, and each one offers a different way to play. First up, you've got Tetra Staking. That's your classic DeFi play for earning passive income. Then there's Tetra Game, where your skills in the game can actually earn you real rewards. And finally, you have Tetra Social, which is a pretty unique idea that pays you for being an active and valuable part of the community. Now let's look closer at the staking. They've found a really nice balance between flexibility and higher returns. There's a flexible option that gets you 4% APR and lets you pull out some of your funds, which is awesome if you want to stay liquid. But if you're ready to commit, you can lock up your tokens and earn up to 8% APR. And you can choose to lock for as little as 15 days or for as long as a full year. So how does all that activity in the gaming and social parts actually become tokens? It's all based on a simple point system. You can see right here in the table, you earn points for doing different things, and then you can convert those points into teacher tokens. For instance, you'll need 20 points from the game to get 1 Tetra, but only 10 points from your social activities. The big takeaway here is that everything you do inside the ecosystem has a real, tangible value.
A cool ecosystem is one thing, but how is it all protected from those risks we talked about earlier, like rug pulls? Well, that brings us to the security layers that TetraFund has built in. These are all about creating long-term trust and preventing those kinds of meltdowns that have hurt other projects so badly.
This right here is a really big deal. The project's entire initial liquidity pool is cryptographically locked for 4 years. That means no one can touch it or pull it out. It's a powerful guarantee of their commitment to long-term stability and a direct answer to that nagging fear of a rug pull.
And what about short-term protection? They've got that covered too. There's a 48-hour time lock on any major changes to the smart contract. What this means is that no single person can just sneak in and make a malicious change. It gives the whole community 2 full days to see exactly what's being proposed and to react, which makes everything way more transparent.
Now, one of the smartest things about the TetraFund ecosystem is how it actually pays for its own growth. There's a 4% tax on every single transaction, and they use this money very strategically. A full 75% of that tax gets automatically pumped right back into the liquidity pool, which helps keep the token's price stable. The other 25% goes to marketing and development, and this is the brilliant part, it's paid out in BNB, not Tetra. This avoids that classic problem where projects have to sell their own tokens to pay the bills, which often crashes the price.
So yeah, this isn't just some random tax. As they explain it, it's a strategically designed economic engine. The whole point is to create this positive feedback loop. The liquidity pool grows, which supports the token's value, which in turn funds the project's development. It's a self-sustaining system that's built to benefit everyone involved.
With all these clever features in place, it's only natural to wonder what's next for TetraFund. So let's take a quick look at their roadmap to see how they plan on rolling out this ambitious vision and growing it into a full-blown digital economy.
What's really clear from looking at this is that TetraFund is absolutely playing the long game. They're rolling things out in careful phases to build up momentum. It kicked off with an ecosystem launch in late 2025 and then a big marketing push. But notice, trading doesn't even get turned on until 2027. That gives them tons of time to build a solid foundation. And see how the airdrop tokens are unlocked gradually? That's a really smart move to prevent a massive sell-off. Staking then kicks in 2028, all leading up to their next big plan.
And all of this brings us back to one final, really provocative question. By getting rid of team tokens, locking liquidity for years, and building an entire economic around participation, TetraFund is basically running a huge, fascinating experiment. It's a bet that an ecosystem can be genuinely owned and run by its users. Can it actually work? Well, that's the big question this project is trying to answer.